Tally ho there, champs, and welcome to the show. So I'm 2 weeks into my Android switch to iPhone or iOS, and I can say I'm happy to be alive. I've survived 2 weeks. Well done. There were a lot of headaches, some very frustrating moments, but overall, it's been a pretty good experience, I would say. Now, I've been an Android user for many years. I used to root my phones and all sorts of things, but I just need my phone to be reliable now. It has to work when people call me and stuff like that. I cannot afford for it to not work, and so I can't root phones and stuff anymore. Now, just looking at the iPhone 7 Plus, I mean, why would you buy this phone now? I mean, it could be easy to just say, well, the Apple ecosystem and so on. Well, if you're locked into that, you buy it. But if you were unbiased and haven't used either Android or iOS, just purely on the hardware alone, why would you buy an iPhone? I mean, it looks outdated. I mean, compared to the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, it looks outdated. It is huge. I mean, look at these three phones here. They're pretty much all the same size screens, but the iPhone is just massive compared to them. It has massive bezels. I mean, I do like the look of it, red and white. This particular model here, I like the red and white look of it. I love the finish of it, like its fit and finish and build quality is superb, but it does look dated. It's very big when you consider the size screen it's housed, and it's more like a 6-inch size phone. I mean, it hasn't got wireless charging. I mean, it is waterproof now, so that's a good thing, but it just looks outdated and so on. But at the end of the day, I come up with 3 reasons why I kept it. I've passed my initial trial period, so I have to keep it now anyway. And I'll get to those 3 reasons later. First of all, I'll just talk about the bad things. It's price. The price is out of control. It's crazy. Although there is good resale value, what do I think of the price? When you consider that, you know, in 6 months' time, you'll be able to get a Samsung Galaxy S8 for like $750 Australian, like $600 US or $550 US or something like that. This thing here is like $800, $1,400 in Australia. Crazy price. Another downside for me is the operating system, iOS. Although it has a great ecosystem of apps and pretty much every developer does iOS first, and they seem to make iOS apps a little bit more polished than Android apps. And even Google, what are Google doing? There's some apps from Google that I can only get on iPhone, like the YouTube Director app. You can only get that on iPhone. How are they releasing stuff for iPhone first? And why are their apps actually better on iPhone? It's just crazy. But also, being an Android user, yes, iOS is simple. It's just a grid of icons and it's simple to use if you use it that way. But if you want to multitask and, you know, you want at-glance information like widgets on your home screen and you want to move the icons where you want, it's just so clunky. It's more of a, I don't know, it has sort of like a kindergarten look to me, like the transparencies, the color of it. It's not flat and modern UI, I don't think. It's just a bit sort of juvenile. I don't know, sort of Apple products are like that anyway. That's just me. That's my personal preference. I prefer just nice, clean, flat stuff like, you know, Material Design, or even like Windows Phone is nice and flat. And yeah, I don't like that sort of garish transparencies and gel look, and yeah, that's not my thing. And also, I've mentioned how big it is for its size. Now, apart from that, I would have to say I'm pretty happy with this phone. I'm pretty happy with the experience overall, apart from the initial teething problems. My headaches are over, and it's actually a little bit refreshing to use, but that new exploring buzz is sort of gone, and it's a bit boring now. You know, just compared to Android, the stuff I can do with it, the customization, it gets boring quickly. But on the positive side, everything works. So the stuff I like about it, heat. When I game, whatever I do, it's like, compared to Android phones, it is so cool. Like, it gets a little bit warm, but compared to Android phones, it is like cold. Like, you cannot feel heat, and it hardly gets hot at all. It's not even warm. I wouldn't even call it warm. And its performance is like really good. Like, its graphics performance and gaming performance, loading up apps, its performance is fantastic. Its battery life is phenomenal. Standby time is out of this world compared to Android phones. You put a phone down at 99% at night, you wake up with 99% in the morning. No Android phone does that. And its battery life, I can easily get 6 hours on screen time without a sweat. I will say though, when you're out and about and you're using mobile data, the battery drains a lot faster. So if you're in the house using Wi-Fi, it's okay, but when you're out and about, the battery does drain a lot faster. And it could be because this particular Australian model here has the Intel modem, whereas some models have the Qualcomm modem, and the Qualcomm is faster and it's more power efficient. So it might just be the Intel modem in this particular Australian model, but battery life great overall. Its support, like I've said before, I've paid for Apple Care. I usually don't pay for extended warranties and all this rubbish. I don't believe in it, but this is for damage. So I do not use cases. Anywhere in the world I go, I'm going overseas later this year, I drop my phone, boom, just walk into an Apple store. I'll either get the screen replaced or I'll get the phone replaced. No questions asked. Easy as that. No one offers that support. Now, I realise that some carriers do offer it if you're a customer of theirs, like Vodafone or Verizon or something like that. They have some insurance where you can do it, but no, nothing is like the Apple Care. Resale value is through the roof. Like, you pay a lot for this phone, but you get a lot back. As long as it's in good condition, if you sold it before the iPhone 8 come out, you would get, I would guess, 70% of your money back, maybe. And then the upgrade to the new iPhone will not hurt so much. So it costs a lot, but the value of it is good. Like a Samsung Galaxy S8, the value after 6 months, it's just going to drop. The apps, I've just said before, yeah, even Google apps, they're better on iPhone. There's exclusive apps on iOS. For some reason, they just seem a bit more polished on iOS. I hate to say it as an Android man. It's just how it is. I'm not going to say they're of a magnitude better, but they're just more polished. The feeling in the hand, even though this is a big phone, its feeling in the hand is really good. It feels like quality. It feels good typing. I think that's because it's thin. It's really thin. It just feels good in the hand. And I think to achieve that sort of feeling in your hand, just the haptic feedback is perfect. Just the weight of it, you have to use it to feel that. And also accessories. You can just go anywhere. There's like accessory places anywhere. That's one good thing about it. Like, I've had a lot of sort of off-brand Android phones like OnePluses and stuff. If you try and get something for those phones, you got no hope. You have to order it off eBay or something like that. You're not going to walk into one of those like places that sell all these cases. They're not going to have it. They'll have Samsung Galaxy and iPhone and maybe a couple of others, but iPhone number one in that regard. So at the end of the day, so why did I keep it? One is its resale value. That's why I kept it. It's going to hold its value, and if I want to upgrade to the next iPhone, even though the initial cost was high, the upgrade will be the cheapest out of any of the other phones. And I'm talking Samsung Galaxy 8, S8, Pixel, and phones like that, because they will not hold their value like the iPhone. Battery life. I love the battery life. Always wanted the phone with great battery life, and this is the first phone that I cannot kill in a day. Fantastic battery life. And its support. I pay the Apple Care and I'm protected. I do not have to use a case. I smash the screen, walk into an Apple store anywhere in the world. I'm going to get it replaced. Fantastic. It's going to cost me $50 for the first 2 incidents or accidents. And then after that, it'll cost me $150. That's Australian. So that's pretty good for me, just having that peace of mind of not using a case. And that's why I ended up selling my Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, because to replace the screen, it's going to cost me $300-400. Like, I might as well just sell it. And put it this way, if Samsung had something like Apple Care, I would definitely consider the Galaxy S8, but they don't. So at the end of the day, I'm going to stick with this. I'll see how long I can last with it. If I really hate it, in a few weeks' time, I'm going to sell it, whatever. Go back to Android. I love the Android. And thanks for coming along with me on this journey. If this video was helpful, give me a thumbs up there. I've got lots more tech content coming soon. If you're new around here, why not subscribe? And until next time, guys, tally ho.